Thumbtack presents Uncertainty Strikes. I was surrounded. The aisle and the options were closing in. There were paint rollers, satin and matte finish, angle brushes, and natural bristles. There were too many choices. What if I never got my living room painted? What if I couldn't figure out what type of paint to use? What if I just used Thumbtack? I can hire a top-rated pro that knows everything about interior paint, easily compare prices, and read reviews. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Shay, how did your play as a group match the magnitude of this game?
We just played to who we were tonight. We should have. I might have had the worst start to a basketball game in my career, but the group held it down, kept us in the game. Somehow we still won the first quarter, but that's just a testament to the guys in the locker room. I've been saying it all year. We're a group of 1 through 15. No, we wouldn't be this deep in the season without the guys, everybody on the team, and it just showed again tonight.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 32 points, and the Oklahoma City Thunder win Game 5, 127-114 over the Spurs. They lead the series 3-2. PK. A lot of stuff going on in that game. That was a bad start for them, but they did win the first quarter. They rallied pretty quick. They had a 20-point lead and let them back in the game, but they still won by 13.
Win the first quarter.
And
by 2. You don't win anything.
70 free throws in that game. Yikes.
Well, I think the key is to have 2 of your guys go 7 of 19 from the field, like McCain and SGA did. Somehow. That is freaky.
Weird stats, weird numbers.
But then the other guys, and that's not a good shooting percentage. It's not terribly awful.
You're right. It's not good.
But,
it's down in the 30s.
You'd expect more from SGA and probably McCain too. But then you look at everybody else. They were hardly missing. So you take out those 2 guys, 6 for 8, 6 for 9, 3 for 7, 5 for 10, 3 for 3. That's pretty doggone good. And then, of course, you factor in, you said the free throws that SGA is getting 17 and he's converting 16. And you can see why they would have a good chance to win. And they did, obviously. And they won comfortably again.
Won the backboards, 48-41. Wembayama only getting 6 boards. That was a little eye-raising. He did not shoot the ball well, 4 of 15.
I think it's eyebrow-raising. It's not eye-raising. No.
I raise my eyebrows and my eyes together. They seem to be attached.
I mean, you'll try to save face on that, and I'll let you, so I won't stop doing that. You're distracting me.
Somebody better save my face for myself.
But the thing that I've come away with as I've watched these games with a level of interest that wasn't just passing, flipping through to get to the next Jazz game, is that I've been very much so impressed with Hartenstein, or Stein, however you say it. The guy's he's got a role, and he's fulfilling the role at a high level. And I didn't really realize he was capable of doing this. And that's very important to this team because they need some physical play because they've got a lot of highly skilled guys. Holmgren isn't a banger. He's highly skilled.
Right.
So you need some bangers.
Need some beef.
And Isaiah has been really doing it well.
Yeah. 12 points, 15 boards for him. He's got that little one-handed half floater, half push shot, whatever it is, from about that 10 to 15-foot range. He can drop that thing over Wembayama.
And I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either. I think the thing that I'd seen a little bit of him, so I knew who he was supposed to be, but his consistency game to game is, like you said, in the regular season, they're playing a Central Time Zone game. Maybe you watch a quarter of it, and then you're off to watch the Jazz game.
Right.
Or
and
the Mammoth game, or the BYU game, or whatever.
Side of the country.
Right. But no, I haven't watched him night to night under the pressure he's under to perform here. You know, the game one matchup, and they tried something different. And since then, he's the guy, and he gets 12 and 15, while Big Vic gets 20 and 6. Pretty much a standstill. Mm-hmm. And Holmgren's over here. I mean, he disappeared in some early games in the series, but that was a strong performance. 16 points, 11 boards out of him.
Yeah.
If those two guys do that again, 28 points, 26 boards combined, they're going to win one of these last two games, and they're going to win the series. I mean, those are really good performances. All right, we'll have more on this game coming up later this morning. Barry Trammell, sports columnist for the Tulsa World, will be here to talk about Oklahoma City. We will chat with him at 9 o'clock. The other news, Joe Mazzulla is the NBA Coach of the Year, the fourth Celtic coach to win the award. He led Boston to the second seed in the Eastern Conference, but they got knocked out by the Knicks. Go ahead.
I mean, that's a regular season award.
That is a
right?
regular season
so
award. They just announced it now.
You know, I'm not raising an eye over that one whatsoever.
Okay. Raising an eye? What kind of a sentence is that? I think you meant eyebrow.
But what I will say is 1 year from now, William H. Hardy.
Aha!
He's winning it.
From the 20, 30, 40 game improvement, whatever it is they end up having here.
Right.
We can all make our predictions, but yeah.
Right. And the fact that he stuck it out for 4 years when he was in line to get the Boston job, but he didn't know that the guy, what's-his-face, was over there in Houston, was going to have the issue to get kicked out, basically.
You okay, Yuck? Someone punch you in the larynx?
No, apparently.
Did you mean Ime Udoka?
Ime Udoka, yeah.
Ime Udoka.
Yes, he has some Eastern Utah ties, doesn't he?
Yeah, he coached at CEU.
And Mike Brown, his brother played football for the Utes. Did you know that?
I did not.
I learned that yesterday, actually.
We got ties.
I've known that for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw something on him when he was in town years ago, because he's been a coach for a number of teams now, and he was talking about that. But yeah, they're gonna reward Hardy. There's no doubt in my mind that he stuck it out, because he could have been the Boston coach, but the timing wasn't there. He didn't know what was going to happen, and then he's been losing here for 4 years, and his hair has stayed on his head and stayed the same color. So you have to admire him for that. He hasn't pulled out his hair.
Go gray and then pull it out.
For all this losing, and they're going to win next year, and so he's going to get it.
Despite the fact the Cavs were swept and there were some baffling comments, Kenny Atkinson will remain as head coach for the Cavs next season after leading Cleveland to the Eastern Conference Final. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Patrick Mahomes' recovery from the torn ACL and the torn LCL continues. He's back on the practice field for the first time in their OTA practices. He was wearing a knee brace on the knee, but progress for Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to have to adjust, because for the better part of a decade, you know, I like quarterbacks and I like offense. I don't have a team, so I just like the ball being thrown all over the place and exciting offensive plays. I don't mind defense, but I'm more of an offensive guy. So for the better part of a decade, Aaron Rodgers has been my favorite quarterback to watch play in his prime for Green Bay, right?
He's on TV a lot. He's thrown it all over the place. He can run a little bit too,
right,
so
right.
Yeah, sure.
And so obviously he's done after this season, and I'm going to have to come up with a new favorite quarterback. And I've been thinking about this. Well, since the weekend, I've been thinking about it a lot. And Mahomes is going to be in that category. I've liked Justin Herbert because he came on our show a couple years in a row when he was when we were doing Pac-12, and he had a good personality. Yeah. But I think that
Josh Allen
is another guy. You know, a guy who was woefully under-recruited, obviously, and goes to Wyoming. And I've always had a soft spot for my Wyoming fans. I know they take a lot of grief, but by and large, I was treated as well as any place I'd ever been on the road all those years traveling by the Wyoming fans. So, yeah. But I think that undeniably, in light of life, yeah, my new favorite quarterback, Jackson Dart.
Wait with Corner Canyon.
He did.
So you've got a tie there.
Yeah. There's some other ties.
I know.
That's the reason.
It's not.
What is the reason? I watched that kid play.
Yeah.
Religiously.
Mm-hmm.
every game.
And when you saw him do stuff, it was eye-raising.
It was heartwarming.
Heartwarming. It's 70-7. We go to the third quarter. My heart is warmed.
You'll see it. I like all this stuff. Oh, will they block for him? What? They're trying to stay in the league.
I know. It is just.
They're going to block for themselves.
Because he introduces the president, it becomes public. But do you think in a locker room of 53 guys, you could find 10 people for sure who voted for one guy and 10 people for sure who voted for another person?
I don't care who they voted for.
I know. You can find 10 people who didn't vote in the locker room.
This is America. You can vote for whoever you want. But the conversation has swayed to, oh, they won't block for him. These guys want to be in the league.
Yeah. And like their paydays.
They got to block for themselves, or else you're gone.
It's all on film. Your win rate is graded out almost immediately. Yeah.
Literally, from multiple angles, every practice is filmed.
Yes. True story. Absolutely. There's always a camera in the end zone up high. There's always a camera on the sideline up high.
And they do that at the college level, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so they want to stay in the league. There's no way you're going to make that money anywhere else. So, yes, that's a dumb discussion. You want to discuss something else? Go ahead, but not that.
People getting paid. Chargers give star safety Derwin James, I think I can handle that name, the highest paid safety in the NFL, second time in his career because he gets an extension, 3 years, $75.6 million contract extension, including a new $57.5 million worked into that guaranteed deal.
He's not going to play the way he's supposed to because the Chargers coach has been pictured with the president.
See?
Where do you stop? You can't just isolate it. You got to carry it all the way out, right?
Don't tempt people with a good time.
The Houston Texans rewarded two-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Nico Collins with a newly reworked 2-year deal. He'll get an extra $9 million this year, an extra $8 million next year. He's due almost $30 million, $29.875 million this year. So, big money for Nico Collins.
Way to go, Nick.
Josh Jacobs, Packers star running back, arrested and booked yesterday. Several domestic violence charges, according to the Hobart Lawrence Police Department. Hobart Lawrence is somewhere in Wisconsin. He faces 1 felony count and 4 additional misdemeanors stemming from an incident. Saturday, his attorneys denied the allegations. So that will sort itself out. DJ and PK.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
That sound could mean a lot of things. And when something's going wrong at home, the hardest part can be figuring out what the problem actually is. At Thumbtack, you can upload a voice message or a photo, and our AI-powered search will help diagnose your project. Plus, the pros we know have over 14 million 5-star reviews, so you can hire with confidence. Thumbtack, we know homes. Hire the right pro today.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Hashtag college football.
You'll be shocked by this headline, PK. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby's appeal for reinstatement denied. Texas Tech announced they'll appeal the decision on his behalf. He'll also pursue an injunction via lawsuit against after being ruled ineligible. That'll happen next Monday in a court hearing. So the initial decision, no, and now they'll appeal the decision and they'll take it to court. So two different paths there to see if they can get that flipped.
I don't know how the appeal would work, and nor do I know how the injunction. But I would think you'd have the better chance with the injunction than you would the appeal.
Taking the appeal back to the exact same people who just told you no.
Yeah,
I think you're right about that. I don't know that he has a great chance with either one, but I would think the better one would be in court. The SEC will do away with their annual Cupcake Week in the next to last weekend of the regular season as the league voted to play conference games on that weekend. It'll take effect next season. This is part of the fallout of SEC going from 8 to 9 conference games. And, of course, playing the Citadel the week before the rivalry games, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, had been a long-time tradition in the SEC. So how do you view this? This is... see that ESPN's paying for all the league's games and they need more good games, so they lean on them to get this done. Or TV doesn't have the power because the networks would have been leaning on them for the last 20 or 30 years to do this, and they couldn't get it done until now. Which of those seems...
I think it was more the SEC deciding to go to the extra game. I think, you can't really go back into history because history strongly favored the SEC. But now that the money is above board and on the table instead of under, the SEC's power has been reduced. But before, the SEC had enormous power because they were winning at high levels. We had multiple times, right, where the two teams were playing each other from the same conference.
Right. They were always represented in the title game. They usually won the title game. Right. And you're right, there were a couple times where they were going to win it because they had both teams.
And those times are over.
It does appear to be true.
Consistently. It may happen again. You never say never. But they don't have the influence and the power. And the fact is, it's obvious because other people can pay what you've been doing for years.
They are 2-8 versus the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC in the playoff over the last 3 years. They've got a G5 win, and they do have a couple playoff games where they played each other. But when they're playing one of the other three power leagues, they get 2 wins and 8 losses in the last 3 years.
Yes, so
it's a major slippage from where they were.
They're not going to have that power, and I think there's pressure. But I was listening to Brett McMurphy as I was literally coming in the building this morning, and he was talking about some of these coaches feel that they were hoodwinked because they thought that agreeing to this was in conjunction with an expanded playoff. And now they're not sure, so maybe they would have voted differently, but they were assuming that there would be...
That it's going to 16 or 24, and now maybe stuck at 12.
Yes.
So they're going to take more losses, but they're not going to have access to more playoff berths.
Right, so they thought it was hand in hand, is what he was saying.
Steve Sarkisian, not reprimanded or punished by the SEC for his recent comments about basket weaving and the requirements to get a degree from Ole Miss, but he said it was a poor choice of words.
Why is this another BYU guy popping off?
He's been talking a lot lately. He had something about he was worried about the future of the sport because the coach was in the semifinals, was fired 5 games later.
Talking about James Franklin.
Yeah, he's talking about James Franklin at Penn State.
They'll always stick up for themselves.
Right. But are you worried about the sport because a coach quit on a team that was preparing for a playoff game and went to a rival school inside the conference? Are you worried for the sport for that? Are you worried for the sport for all the people who are leaving with 8-figure buyouts?
Yeah, but coaches are always going to stick up for one another. You listen to Jeff Van Gundy. Has anybody ever coached a bad game in his life?
Not as far as he can tell. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Swinging a high drive, deep right field. That ball is gone, and it's a grand slam for Jesus Sanchez.
Driving one toward right center field. Moving back is Vierling. He's at the warning track near the wall. It's gone! It's gone! A grand slam! Vaughn Grissom has put the Angels in front. He's driven in 6 tonight.
He swings, hits a high drive to left and deep. This ball back, and this ball is gone. A home run. Betts' second home run of the night. A 3-run shot.
Highlights from around Major League Baseball. There were a lot of blowouts yesterday, PK. There's a lot of teams going big. One of them was the Dodgers, who absolutely annihilated the Rockies 15-6. The note in that game was Shohei Ohtani gets hit on the hand by a pitch, leaves the game. He's scheduled to pitch tonight. They're saying he's still going to pitch tonight. We'll see if he bats tonight. They didn't need him in a 15-6 blowout of the Rockies at Chavez Ravine.
That's a fact.
Some of the other games there that got completely out of hand. The Yankees beat the Royals 15-1. So the Yankees chasing the Rays. Got the complete domination there.
First ever time that all 9 starters in Yankee uniforms had 2 hits at least each.
Oh, Maron.
Pirates 12-1 over the Cubbies. Cubs have lost 10 in a row, and they lose 10 in style.
I mean, I think that, it goes back to Frank. That's life. You're riding high in April, shut down in May.
And there they are, and they're shut down in May. Here we are, end of May, and they've already had 2 10-game win streaks and a 10-game losing streak.
But I'm going to change my tune because I'll be back on top in June.
They're down 5-0 in the first inning, so, at least they battled for a while.
I said, that's life.
Blue Jays smoked the Marlins 8-1, and the Rangers 10-7 over the Astros. Ton of runs scored in that game. High-scoring games out there yesterday. Former Brave star Bob Horner, who was the number 1 pick in 1978 out of Arizona State University, passed away at the age of 68. Bob Horner and Dale Murphy were the heart of the Braves lineup in the 1980s.
Bob Horner was in my heart. Apollo High School, Glendale, Arizona. Every kid who ever imagined hitting a baseball at that time
wanted to be Bob Horner.
He was the man. Local legend. He was to baseball in that area at that time when I was growing up what Danny White was to football. To give you an idea.
Yeah.
And then he goes to ASU and just was a superstar. The number 1 pick, did not go to the minors, was right in there. It was the biggest story ever when I was a kid. They had to put up a huge extension in left field at Apollo High School because there were homes behind the left field.
He kept hitting the ball into the houses.
Yes.
Put a net up there.
Right.
We're tired of the insurance claims.
It was a huge net that went all the way. Now, it wasn't like it wasn't a half circle. It was one of these things where it was just left field, and then center field would have been 900 feet away.
Right.
It just.
But they needed it at least from the foul pole or a little bit to the foul territory out into left center. Get into the power alley.
Because he would just pop them over.
Some district administrator was like, another claim. What is going on?
And obviously 68 is way young, and he was a legend. And he and Dale Murphy were the Braves at that time. If you watched on the Superstation, you would know. Remember.
Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, now a minority owner of his hometown Cleveland Guardians, buys a stake in the franchise. The quote, "I've been lucky enough to have a front row seat to good ownership in my career, and I know the best teams prioritize culture. Everyone is there to play their role, and right now I'm here to observe and learn and really support the team in the city when and where I can."
I think that's absolutely awesome, man. You're gonna use football. You're not gonna let football use you. And you made a lot of money. You got a lot of fame. You got Taylor and all that stuff. But and he was on the front row when the Cavs were playing. Mm-hmm. But to take some of your money and invest it in your hometown team, and then be a businessman going forward, because obviously it's either this year or next year. Probably you're done, and so don't just be wasting your money. This is really cool.
Salt Lake Bees beat the Round Rock Express 7-1 in the series opener. Same 2 teams tonight. Tony Parks will be on the air at 5:30 on 1280 The Zone. First pitch at 5:45. DJ and PK.
#NHL.
This one will go to the final seconds, and this one is a home ice clincher. For the first time in franchise history, the Knights clinch the Western Conference at T-Mobile Arena.
Vegas sweeps Colorado. They win Game 4 2-1. They are going to the Stanley Cup Final again, 3 times in their 9-year existence. They take down the 1 seed in the West, the best record in the regular season, and they sweep the Avs, who had been flying through the playoffs in the first 2 rounds. But Vegas, how about as a late-season coaching? This isn't even mid-season coaching change. This is a late-season coaching change. Got a few others maybe we can recall, but I don't recall anything this late having this dramatic. I think Ty Lue replacing David Blatt in Cleveland. They went on with the title. I think that was a December call. It seems to me that was a little before halfway. Jack McKeon with the Marlins was like a May or June hire, I think. This was way late. I mean, they had like 9 or 10 games left, something like that.
Well, in honor of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, I have no comment.
Oh, look at you. That's going to cost you a draft pick. Tonight, Carolina, Montreal, Game 4 in the East. Carolina's up 2-1. They'll play Game 4 tonight. Winner of that series is going to get Vegas in the Stanley Cup Finals. That game's on TNT tonight. Evgeny Malkin will return for his 21st year in the NHL. Pittsburgh giving him 1 year, $5.5 million. The soon-to-be 40-year-old wants to keep playing, staying with the only team he's been with. That is what is trending, brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Mike Folta will be here to talk Vegas to the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll talk playoffs with Mike, radio voice of your Utah Mammoth, and then Barry Trammell, sports columnist for the Tulsa World on the Oklahoma City Thunder at 9 o'clock. It's also Win Tickets Wednesday. We got a 5-pack of tickets to watch the Utah Royals and the Orlando Pride at America First Field. We'll give those away coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. DJ and PK, the question of the day is next. Stay with us.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
When people turn to telehealth for weight loss, they're looking for real support. That's why more people are choosing OrderlyMeds.com. Orderly Meds connects you with real doctors and access to proven GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide. No guessing, just a more supportive experience, and all shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging. Do your research, ask questions, then visit OrderlyMeds.com/podcast for an exclusive offer. That's OrderlyMeds.com/podcast. Individual results may vary, not medical advice. Eligibility required. See site for details.